I intended this to be a horizontal stream, but as you can see, it is a wily vertical stream, so we're going to see how this does. We're going to try it out. I wanted to be with you guys last week, but it has been crazy with shooting for DC Studios and all my Real Reject stuff and Capes and Cowls and everything else, so it has been absolutely insane. So we are going to do a live stream, unfortunately, vertically. I think going forward, I'm going to be doing these on my computer. My phone just does not want to let me go anything but vertical. So here we are with another vertical stream, much like last week where I set it to horizontal and then the fates said, no, you can't have nice things. You can't enjoy doing a stream. So I'm literally, as we speak, trying to put this back on my tripod after fighting for it to be horizontal for quite some time. Hello, you lovelies! A bit of chaos. I do apologize. Now you can see that I'm in sweatpants because I have had the craziest week. Between Monday and Tuesday, I worked 23 hours with that 4 a.m. Fantastic Four trailer. I digress. Hello! Welcome to This Week in Comics. If you're new to this page, I would very much love if you could subscribe. I talk about comics a lot. I read 50 to 60 to 70 comics every single week, and I break down my favorite 9 right here. That is what this show is about. My favorite 9 comics, in this case, from the last 2 weeks. Gonna give you guys my favorite books for the last 2 weeks because I missed you all last week. So we're going to be talking the comics from the 22nd and 29th, and I'll be previewing this week's books that just dropped on Wednesday, the 5th of February. And that was a very special comic book day for me because the 5th brought us DC Comics with ya boy. Look at this. So as of now, I know that I'm on the back of Absolute Superman variant covers issue 4. I'm on the back of Two-Face variant issue 3. I believe I'm also on the inside of Green Lantern number 19, as well as the Lex Luthor Superman special. So this cover right here, I'm on the inside back cover, as well as this one right here, I'm on the inside back cover, which is absolutely insane. There is no greater honor, I think, for a comic nerd than to be on comics. This, like I said, is my Oscar. It is absolutely insane. Like, my face is in tens of thousands of collections. This rollout's going to keep going, so if you haven't found any yet, check out Two-Face, check out Absolute Superman. I'm going to be going to the comic store hopefully today, worst case, late tomorrow, and looking through every single cover. So next week's This Week in Comics, I will have a complete list of all the ones that I know I'm on, because it's absolutely insane. So I wanted to start with that news story because that is revelatory. That's just absolutely insane. This feels like when I got to host the first comic ever on Hull H. In the history of Comic-Con, there was never a comic on the biggest stage at Comic-Con until we did it with Berserker, me and Keanu Reeves talking Berserker with Boom Studios, which was a huge honor as well. So this is right up there. You can bring me home, and you lovelies, if you do, please use hashtag KoiComics and tag me. I will share it on whatever medium. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube. As you can see, I am all over the place. Tag me, and I will share whatever post you have with me in this comic, because it is insane. I want to see these out in the wild. I want to share this celebration with you, because, as I always say, without you guys, this doesn't happen. Like, this is not possible. So you guys are the reason this is possible. Hashtag KoiComic. Someone in the chat said bag them. They're bagged. I have this one out so I can show you. I'm not a monster. Bagged and boarded. Come on now. Let's be realistic. Know thyself. Again, apologies for this being a vertical stream, but I did not want to miss another week due to the insanity of tech issues. So let's dive right into our headline stories, starting with Fantastic Four. We had a Fantastic Four trailer finally after all of these months. It's crazy that it feels like it's been so long because the movie isn't out for another 5 months. This is actually on time for a teaser, and it was actually a longer teaser than you'd normally get. So it feels like it's right on time, but because we haven't had a Fantastic Four movie in 10 years, because it's been such a big deal to get these Fox characters in the MCU, and how crazy is it? We have 2005, 2015, 2025, you'd think 2024, but it didn't work out. But every 10 years, we get a new iteration of Fantastic Four, and here we are. So the trailer dropped. My thoughts are up from Tuesday morning. Posted my general, lengthy 10 minutes of thoughts. I also posted some of the Easter eggs I noticed in that video, so if you haven't checked those out, please do check out the review of the trailer that is like 4 videos ago after all the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man stuff, which I'm going to talk about as well. And I'd love to know your thoughts, but I want this episode to be about the numbers, if that translates to box office, and I would definitely want to know your thoughts. I'm going to be reading that. Douglas McKinney, I'm aware, I've got an eye on him. I want to know your thoughts on the trailer, so that's what today is. I want to be reading all of that in the chat below. But it hit 202 million views on YouTube, that trailer, in 24 hours. The Superman trailer hit 240 million views in 24 hours, making this trailer the biggest DC trailer of all time, and at 202, making this a top 5 Marvel trailer of all time. So I'm wondering if that's going to translate to the box office. Do you guys think that it cracks $1 billion? Do you think Superman does? Do you think we get the Barbenheimer situation? Do we get a 3-way Barbenheimer situation with Jurassic dropping a week before one of them and 3 weeks before the other? We could have a super fantastic time. We could, in fact, have a super fantastic Jurassic time. So I'm really curious if we finally hit like this crazy surge of $3 billion movies. Is that possible? I'm personally thinking that Fantastic Four is going to hit about 750. I personally think Superman worldwide, we're talking, I think Superman worldwide is going to hit like 859. I think Jurassic Park historically hits $1 billion. I don't know if this one will. There's also Smurf, says Hayden in the chat. Congrats, Hayden, by the way, approaching quite another big milestone on your channel. But I do think they're all going to lift each other up. I think, and I hope, as you guys know, I love Marvel, I love DC, I love Image, I love Boom, I love Dynamite. I think there's no reason to be pitting these movies against each other. They both look, in my opinion, fantastic. It is going to be a very expensive month on our wallets, but what an experience we get to have seeing a Fantastic Four movie that is a retro-futuristic throwback to a bygone era and a new wave of Superman within weeks of each other. So it's really, really interesting. Now, I also said in my review that I think the tone looks perfect. I think the world building looks perfect. I am a little still worried about the fact that, you know, Pedro Pascal is so likable. I think that's tricky with the character. I see Reed Richards as a guy you wouldn't want to have a beer with, and, like, you know, I definitely think Pedro Pascal is chill. In the same way, Joseph Quinn doesn't read as a hothead to me, even with his role in Stranger Things, even with his role in Gladiator. I still see there's a very sweetness to him that is underneath the fire of Johnny Storm. So I'm really curious if I change my tune of how I feel with Johnny Storm. I really hope that, because Chris Evans is just so perfect, and the Zac Efron archetype is much more how I see the character. So I'm really hoping there's a way in for me to feel connected to this take. And I hope that Joseph Quinn, because he's a great actor, I hope that his acting puts that element into the character and whether or not that takes off. I also talked about this on my show with Greg over on Real Rejects that dropped this morning. That hot-headed character type is less and less common, and it's an important character for a lot of people. So I'm really hoping we get at least dashes of that in some way. So time will tell. I very much appreciate everyone tuning into my reaction on Rejects. The conversation Greg and I had is one of my favorites we've done. The show doesn't even have a name yet, but our clip from it went viral, me talking about Superman, and it brought out a lot of really aggressive people. And it's been a really interesting week for me being in a place of celebrating Fantastic Four, celebrating Superman, celebrating the fact that July is both of these things, and people just angrily, because that's the internet, but just because that's the way it is doesn't mean I have to accept it. There's been a lot of insane vitriol at me because of this, and people saying I only care about Superman because of me working with DC, or people saying I shouldn't be excited for Fantastic Four because of working with DC. But the thing about comics is you can like all of them. Like there is no stopping you from just enjoying art and appreciating every bit of it. This is, you know, The Grinch and Superman. And this is literally from an era that I wasn't around for with Rita Hayworth. This is Saga, that's Image. All of this works. And I also got an insane amount of vitriol from Snyder fans who don't realize how much I like those movies, that they just aren't how I interpret the character. I'm not a big BVS guy, but I'm a big Man of Steel guy, and I really think the Snyder Cut impressed me. But overall, BVS didn't work for me enough that I consider Eternals more my jam, and people got mad at me for saying Eternals over those movies, which is my opinion. People got mad at me for saying I'd rather see the Schumacher cut of the Batman movies than the Ayer cut. And I love David Ayer. We're friends on social media. Like, I love the man himself, and I really love his work. Like, Fury is sensational. Training Day is one of the best films of all time. But I grew up on Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. So they took me saying, like, I'd rather see Schumacher as a slight on Ayer and a slight on Snyder somehow. And these people are literally crawling out of the woodwork finding old tweets that literally are very kind, and me saying, hey, no disrespect if you see differently, but I would love to see the Schumacher cut over the air. Like, literally finding any time I mention Snyder and trying to make it the biggest deal in the world, when all the tweets, even reading them back, it is in some ways flattering that people are making TikToks out of me and making content out of my content and freeze framing me, and like, what a lot of time to spend about me when I don't know your name and never will. But it's also hard because I'm here celebrating this stuff, and I want to keep celebrating this stuff. So I don't want to hear hate about any of it. There's no purpose. I don't think about it. I don't think about the negativity. The only time I do is when people are negative at me. So let the record show. Very excited personally for Fantastic Four. Very excited personally for Superman. Very excited personally for Jurassic Park, even though I don't think it looks all that good. I love me some dinosaurs. I think July is going to be one of the best experiences of a summer blockbuster trio we could possibly have. I could not be more excited. What do you guys think about the Fantastic Four trailer? I'm going to be jumping into the chat here in a moment and reading as much as I can. Remember, I am very, very, very steadfast trying to read all these comments, but I promise every single super chat I will get to. Those I can have like pulled aside and I can just read those. So if you have a specific question you want to get asked, I promise you I will not leave this thread until every super chat is asked, but I will also be trying to check this. I did switch kind of the story around and talk about my comics first. I literally went to Golden Apple and found my face on a bunch of comics. I'm going to go to House of Secrets today or tomorrow and find my face in a bunch of comics, and I would love if you did the same. Hashtag Koi Comic, as I said at the top of this. I want to see these out in the wild. It makes me so happy they exist, and I can think of no higher honor. So thank you to everyone that has already sent me a photo. Thank you to everyone that has picked these up. Thank you to DC, if you're watching this, for giving me this highest of comic honors. Truly, truly appreciate it. Let's see in the chat what you lovelies have to say about the Fantastic Four trailer. And again, I'm so very sorry about the vertical nature of this. Okay, we got a lot of money, all three of them. Wow, there are a lot of you in here. This chat is moving. I just scrolled back and it is quite a bit. Thank you for the love, everyone. Yeah, going vertical is not my goal, but I appreciate you guys being patient. It does feel weird, Asul. Big congrats. Thank you guys very much for all the love in here. Career milestone after career milestone and life milestone. I got engaged last year. I'm going to get married next year. It's a crazy, crazy thing. I'm not on MySpace, unfortunately, and I promise you the comics are bad and bagged and bored and hated. 40 away from 800. Fantastic Four forever. Bizarro Soup's behind you. I have dodged. Cheers back to you. I also love the trailer. Okay, Hayden says 500 to 600 million. Which film do you think is going to clear 5 to 6? Because I do think, personally, they're going to do better than that. Not sold on Reboot, looking forward to it. I think Soups hits a bill, and F4 gets at least 700 from Ash. No fight here, seeing them both from Christian Unpronounceable. Scott, love the F4 trailer, the nod to Beatles, the Ed Sullivan stage at the end of the trailer with Chef's Kiss. Yeah, I put that in my favorite four reactions, favorite four Easter eggs. My favorite four Easter eggs were the Beatles Fab Four, Fantastic Four moment, showing their movie starness and giving you a sense of time. I loved the fact that we had the lead character, Sheldon, from the Marvel's comic book, the Alex Ross Kurt Busiek comic, seemingly in the poster. That is a huge deal because Marvel's ties into this world so interestingly, and I would love if they even dabble in that storyline. I also, my third favorite, man, what were the other ones? I really like the multiversal Easter egg on the board. I assume Reed is going to be stretching to right on the other end of the board, which is why that's all in shadow and such a large board. I assume that shot, when we see it, is going to be this great reach-out stretch scene. So I enjoyed seeing the multiversal bit. It said alternate universe question mark and an in and out logo. That I thought was very interesting. Very cool Easter eggs in that trailer. Check out that video I posted here. Ken, thank you very much. So happy to see you in the back of a comic book. Thank you, Ken. You put great to see you, man. Best episode of Severance. I am so behind. I'm rewatching it from episode 1 of season 1 with my fiance. We are on episode 6 of season 1, and then I'm going to be diving into season 2. So no spoilers. Tyler Adams, Schumacher cut. Hell yeah. People don't understand the concept of liking things and that the opposing things aren't always fighting. I agree. Haven't heard much combativeness with the fans about the brands. I'm very jealous, Devin Bird. Enjoy that side of the internet wherever you are. That sounds amazing. Thank you, T Boogie, very much. One of my favorite, most respectful people in the business. Well-spoken and respectful to others. Good on you. Thanks, Jax Personal. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Tribalism is dangerous, Ash. I totally agree. Another run to the comic shop, Tyler Adams. Get after it. Shipping problems are problematic, always and forever. Love the 60s retro futuristic vibes from Hayden. Wrapped up the gym and tuned in here. Got to do the comic shop for the full Koi experience now. RWP. That is a beautiful day. After this, I'm going to the comic store and then the comic shop. We're doing all of the above. What a good day. You and I are doing a lot of the same mission today in different order. Me and Heroes Reforged are the guys who have reignited my curiosity and love for superhero movies and comics. Extremely excited for the summer of superhero movies Dallas. That means a lot. TC Soars, T-Boogie with the super chat. Just a moment of silence and kindness. Much, much appreciated. He had also sent one at the top of this, so 2 shouts out to T-Boogie for the super chat and the moment of silence. I appreciate that very, very much. I think it is very possible they both could hit a Billy. We will see. Inspirational trailer FF on February 4th. I really enjoyed that as well. The secret person in that photo next to Pedro of the Fantastic Four filming after party, I think, is Ian Gruffold. What do you think, man? A team of reeds. What are they called? The name escapes me. It's not a cabal of reeds. It's not a commune of reeds. It's not a murder of reeds. The word escapes me. Not society of reeds. Anyway, I think that is possible. Council of reeds. Jesus. Thank you, chat. I am underslept. Council of Reeds, I do think is a possibility, and I would personally, I love how nerdy this audience is. Oh my god, there's like 12 Council of Reeds popping up. Guys, I'm gonna get personal for a moment. I grew up loving comics and not having a lot of people care about them or support them outside of my family. My dad is the one who got me into comics. My dad and I read comics together. We shared comics. We still do. I got my dad Department of Truth for Christmas this year. I got him some great Mobius comics. Got him some Humanoid comics. This year got him, last year, sorry, got him Something is Killing the Children. We still talk comics often. But growing up, it was just my dad who loved comics and my mom who loved the art. And that was kind of it. I didn't have comic friends. The fact that I just said that I can't remember blank of reads, and my chat on this page that has grown double size, by the way. When I restarted this page in April of last year, we had 20,000 subscribers. We are at 42 and change. It's not April yet. So in less than a year, we've doubled the size. I want to hit 50, hopefully in April, and I want to double this bitch and hit 100K by January. I want to get this double again. But let the record show that I am doing comic book content as well as movie and TV content, and with comics as the focal point. You guys just jumped in here and Council of Reeded times almost a dozen, immediately knowing that, and that means this little community is not only positive, it is not only very compassionate to each other, but it is so nerdy, and we're not the bad nerds that get mad at each other. We're the people that go, hey, do you want into this thing I love? Do you want to join me at the comic store? Do you want to have a conversation and just like chat it up by the glass booth and like let's break down what we think of this experience without being a dick to others? So thank you very much. I have had such a long couple weeks on the internet. I know you shouldn't read the comments, but when they get tweeted at you, I know you shouldn't watch the videos of people talking crap, and I usually don't because frankly I don't have the time to watch other people make time to make fun of me. But seeing the other side of it is so amazing. So I love you all very much. I agree, Christian Unpronounceable. This community is amazing. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. Council of Reeds, you're my Council of Reeds with less murder. Which brings me to, I do think it'd be cool down the line to have Miles Teller back as the maker. I think it'd be a really cheeky way to tie into the Ultimatum stuff. I think it'd be a really fun way to bring him back, and he'd definitely be a good maker. And I also think it'd be fun for comic fans to know what was going on in advance. All right, we got a super chat. Jack's Personal. Hi, Koi. I'm illustrating a 203-page fan comic. That is abundant, good sir. That is commendable. 203. Good God. Taking place after Matt Reeves' The Batman, called A Story of the Batman. I think you'd love it. Keep being the best at what you do. We are on YouTube as Ford Films. 3 things. 1, great universe to adapt. If you haven't already read it, check out The Riddler, which is an origin story of the Riddler as written by the Riddler himself, Paul Dano. It is really good. The art is gorgeous. It is this great Russian artist. Check out, it's the Riddler. It's in the Matt Reeves universe, so that'll tie into what you're doing. 2, shout out to your page, Ford Films. Anyone that wants to follow another page, check out Ford Films. Okay, Jack's Personal has read it. It is so good. Paul Dano, hell yeah. 2, Ford Films, check them out. 3, I love that you're taking your love of a medium and putting your work back into it. A lot of times people ask me if I would ever write a comic. I dabbled with a friend who writes comics a while ago, and I frankly, the volume of time, I wrote back in the day. I've actually got 2 screenplays done. One of them got optioned. I actually had an optioned screenplay, which if you live in LA, you know that's a rare thing. They were going to make a movie about one of my scripts, and we were in development hell for 2 years. We were 3 days out from shooting once, and locations fell apart when one of our actors' contracts fell apart, and then everything fell apart, and I was so broken up by it, I was like, maybe not screenwriting anymore. So I personally would love to get back into it, but the volume of what I do is so that I cannot. I would love to not do as much as I do already because I barely see my fiance and I barely take time off. But one day, perhaps, I will write again and I would maybe consider doing a comic one of these days, but today is not that day. So I commend Jack's Personal for setting forth the time and effort. Also, some love to Droopy McCool for the super chat. Thank you very much, man. Droopy McCool, I appreciate you very much. Also love Ed Norton and Eric Bana being discussed as Maestro. I think that is a fun, cheeky idea, and I'm all for it. All right, so for now, the only comic I'm going to write is whatever fanfic in my head of me being on comics. All right, let's talk about a quote that happened this week at the Saturn Awards. I was going to go to the Saturn Awards, but then things fell apart timing-wise, so it didn't work out. But I wish I'd been there to see Ron Perlman because I love that dude. Ron Perlman had this to say at the Saturn Awards, quote, "I had an opportunity to play the character for other people, and I passed," regarding Hellboy. Very interested by the fact that he is so loyal to Guillermo del Toro and the character. He didn't want to ruin it by doing another take, and I really kind of respect that. I love that Ron Perlman has this much loyalty to the character and to Guillermo del Toro. The man, I've gotten an interview before. We did some Sons of Anarchy stuff together at a con. Oh, shout out, right, by the way, MegaCon is happening right now. A lot of you have reached out asking if I'm there. This is my wall at home. I am not there. I am home. I think they hired like Screen Rant, Collider, my buddy Jeffrey Vega. Those guys are all hosting, so they got some great hosts, just not your boy. So anyone that's looking for me at MegaCon, you will not find me there. I'm here in California. But shout out to MegaCon and their incredible con. I really love working with those guys when it works out, and I hope if you're there, you're having a great time. That said, Ron Perlman I interviewed at a con for them, for Fan Expo, and he is so in love with the character that it was hard for him to talk about, and I really love that he got personal, and the connection he has to the character is unlike most of what I see with actors. He really loves Hellboy, so I thought this was really beautiful. I had an opportunity to play the character for other people, and I passed. Like, a lot of love to Ron Perlman, wanting only the best for his character, and Guillermo del Toro. Now, I haven't personally seen the newest Hellboy movie. I did host the panel at San Diego Comic-Con last year, but I wanted to see it in the theater. No theater around me ended up playing it, so I'm waiting to have like a little screening of myself for the Hellboy movie. So in saying this quote, I'm not saying no one else can be Hellboy. I just love that Ron loves him enough that he wants to make another Guillermo if he's ever going to make a character come to life again. And I just think that's really cool that he loves the character that much. And then the final bit of news before we get to the comics themselves is a crazy statistic came out that Disney Plus lost 700,000 subscribers in quarter one. Quarter one is now. It is February 7th. So that is, I assume, their statistic for quarter four going into quarter five. I don't know how it works. I do know 700,000 subscribers is insane. This number has been bouncing all around Twitter. I have no way to check the validity of it besides the people that I made sure had shared it were valid. Like, I don't have, you know, Nielsen reports. So if it turns out to be not true, I looked at people that I trust and I just had to share. 700,000 is crazy. That said, every time a streamer ups its price, I go, is this my line in the sand? Now, AMC A-List is upping their price to $28 in LA, $26, I think, in everywhere but LA and New York. That's an amazing deal. I'm happy to pay $28 for infinite movies. You know, like I can see 4 movies a week. That's 16 movies a month for $28. That's like, you know, $1.50 a movie. That's worth it to me. But I don't think it's worth $10 to wait between seasons of stuff that I don't actually rewatch personally that often. I don't think if the caliber of stuff they're putting out, like these streaming networks always have to have infinite growth because it's that like tech bro mindset of growth. If it plateaus, even if the number is amazing, it's not growth and therefore it's failing. I think it's really dangerous that they keep upping the price because there is a threshold where we just can't afford it or don't want to afford it anymore. I don't have Netflix right now because they upped it to $25, and frankly, so I think there's a very real conversation about this infinite growth and this infinite cost and this infinite everything that I don't think is necessarily acceptable, and I'm sure that's a part of it and why people have canceled. Now, I will keep paying $28 with happiness to AMC, because that is supporting movie theaters, and I see the cash value. I see 2 movies, it pays for itself. I see 1 movie in a premium format, IMAX, Dolby, whatever, it pays for itself. 2 regular matinees in LA, but I don't find myself watching enough Disney Plus or Netflix. I think of Apple as the best streamer. I'm watching Severance season 1 again to rehash for season 2. I'm currently watching Mythic Quest. I love Ted Lasso. I've rewatched more on here. So I was just curious what you guys think of the 700,000, like literally over 500,000, approaching a full million people off of Disney Plus. Seems pretty crazy. So we will see. Curious what you guys think. Let me know in the chat. I saw a couple super chats come through. I'm going to read those, and then I am going to get to the comics themselves. Douglas McKinney. Darth Vader, one of my favorite people. My art student daughter taking a graphic novel course at college this semester, and they are reading It's Lonely at the Center of the Earth. That makes me so happy. Good God. Not only did that comic wreck me emotionally in all the best ways, not only is Zoe Thorogood like the sweetest girl I've talked to her at cons, but it's also like so important for young people, and it's also so dynamic in its graphic novel use. That makes me so happy that they're using that as a platform, and also that it's getting the awareness out there. Lonely at the Center of the Earth, all the Eisners, all the love. That makes me so happy. Gareth J. Do you think we ever get a live-action Dusk, Prodigy, Hornet, Ricochet suits? Part of me says no, because they don't scream Spidey merch, but we are getting Nick Cage and the Noir Spidey. Great point and question. I don't think we'll ever see those 4 in live action. I was shocked we got them in animation, but the good news is, as someone that never thought we'd see them, I've already been wrong. So it is possible, maybe down the line we get them, or a nod to them in live action. But this does mean we can get toys already, because they are in animation. Like, this is already something that is in pop culture. I literally decided to make my videos of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man into individual episodes because of those costumes. I had done episodes 1 and 2 as one video. Hopefully you guys watched it. If you're watching the show, it's amazing. I had then planned to make part 2, the videos they released. I was like, oh, I'll just do 3, 4, and 5. That's how they're releasing it. I watched the 4th episode, and I was like, they did my Identity Crisis suits that I love from 1998 that I remember as a kid losing my mind over. I will do individual. So I did individual reviews. Unfortunately, the individual videos didn't do as well. They did about 1/4 of what my group video did. So this week's are back to being a group video. This upcoming Wednesday, you'll get episodes 6, 7, 8 as one video, unfortunately, because the algorithm, if I keep making videos that don't do well, I lose my videos going out in the world, and I need to eat and make money. So unfortunately, this set will be as one video, but I loved seeing those suits that much, so I'd love to see those as toys. It was really special. I thought it was so freaking rad. So to answer your question, I doubt it, but I hope I'm wrong. All right, and we've got from RWP. Hey man, any info on what panels you'll be doing at this charity event on February 22nd? I love this because I didn't even have to. I also saw someone shouting out Max in the chat. I saw a minute ago someone say Max was the best. I think it was a TC who sent some love earlier. TC Soars saying Max is the best. I love that. I didn't want to say it because I have a show on Max, so I didn't want to seem like I was being a shill. Watch the Real Rejects conversation I had with Greg this morning. It was a really good combo. But I didn't want to have that be how people interpret it. I personally think HBO Max is an incredible app for the money, what they have on there, their new stuff, their old stuff, their licensing. I think it's great. I agree with you. But we are talking about the charity event on the 22nd, February 22nd. If you are in LA, if you're in Southern California, if you've got a friend that works for an airline, if you have a lot of money and just want to fly here, if you want to do it remotely, I am doing a charity event for the wildfires. I have a number of friends who lost everything. I have a lot of people I know peripherally that lost everything. LA people aren't all millionaires, and a lot of people's lives are ruined because of these fires that spread at the speed of 3 football fields a minute. It was terrifying out here. I think if you aren't out here, the scope of it is hard to quantify. Even if you are out here, it's hard to quantify. 3 football fields a minute of fire decimating everything. And that word, by the way, means to take away 10% of, and that is a fair assessment of this situation. LA has been decimated, east and west. The Altadena girls and the whole Altadena situation, as well as Pacific Palisades, terrifying. So we are doing a con, like a full convention for charity, and I'm so honored to be a part of it. I love that the convention is actual pop culture nerds, like it's nerds supporting nerds. Seth Green, Kevin Smith, David Desmalchin, Robert Kirkman, Rob Liefeld. We just announced a whole new wave today. Even more folks coming through. It's really wonderful, and I'm donating all my time that full day. I make my money doing panels, and I'm doing these panels for free. I will be doing them as a comic panel, which is going to be me, Liefeld, Kirkman, Desmalchin, Smith. I'm also going to be just hanging out and doing some stuff with Seth because we know each other off the internet, and a few other people that haven't been announced yet. It will be streamed, and you guys can get tickets. It is called Multicon. $35 a ticket in person. I'm not sure how much it is to stream. You guys can check out Multicon's Instagram, website, whatever. $35 for regular old tickets. I think it's $100 for like a VIP meeting of these people. And okay, I shouldn't say this. And this is as public as it gets. This is on the internet. As of right now, there are like hella people that go to cons that cost hundreds of dollars and then have because cons are you are convening to grow your pop culture brand, right? Like but it's also a business. So autographs and photos and stuff are expensive. This is the most reasonably priced thing I've ever seen for the names that are coming, and it's in LA, and it's at an incredible space, and $35 gets you in, and then it's people donating their time to charity. So if you ever wanted to meet Kevin Smith, Seth Green, David Desmalchin, Kirkman, Liefeld, any of the people that this is the way. $35 is crazy. And if you want to hear the panel, it's also, I believe, going to be streamed. So please check out Multicon. Check out all the details over there. It's on Instagram. I've been collabing with them. It's also, I think it's like multicon.com. Check it out. It is going to be on February 22nd, and I will be physically there, and I will be also, sharing links and stuff if you guys are, supporting it that way. And I really appreciate all of it, top to bottom. I'm honored to be a part of it. I'm honored I get to help my friends, help raise money for people in need. I was very lucky. The fires got close enough that I had to evacuate for 3 days, and my house is still here. I evacuated my comics. I learned that in an hour and 7 minutes, I can load up 9 long boxes and 7 short boxes into an SUV and my vinyl. And then I can figure out what clothes I'm going to keep. It was very interesting to just go like, huh, and like get everything in a car. It was my fiance's SUV was full of comics, and then we put everything else in my car. So it was a very interesting and terrifying experience. $35 is an amazing price. I agree, Shepard. I agree. Tyler, 6 hours away, and he said he's coming. I hope to see you guys there. So if you guys are around, please. Greg's hosting a panel. All of the Real Rejects doing something for the first time ever. 100% of the current Reject Nation are going to be there on a panel. This is the way to meet all of us at once. And again, $35 is bananas. So that's the end of that pitch. And I really appreciate the RWP super chat so I could plug that without feeling like it was out of place. But yes, February 22nd, I will be there. The comics and vinyl are safe. I appreciate it, that one channel. All right, you lovelies. Let's talk about the comics themselves, shall we? Little Council of Reeds action here. I know you guys are here for the right reason because you knew that when my brain failed to work, you comic-loving lovelies. My favorite comics from the last 2 weeks were from the week of January 22nd, 2 weeks ago, is going to be Absolute Wonder Woman number 4, which I actually have right here. That was a favorite, Amazing Spider-Man number 66 with Joe Kelly writing Amazing Spider-Man. Amazing has actually come back into my look. For the people worried, it's back in a bag and board. I promise you. Amazing Spider-Man number 66, another favorite. This is the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man storyline Joe Kelly's doing, seeing the power and responsibility go to the nth with all the ramifications of all the death in Spider-Man's life. Boom. Very, very important and really powerful stuff. Also, big love to Black Canary, Best of the Best, number 3. That is Tom King writing a boxing story of the experience of Black Canary's origin and also using really, really fun back and forth chronology stuff. Big fan overall of Tom King, but I really enjoy characters like Black Canary getting their time in the sunlight. So I really just appreciate top to bottom that book, and the art is gorgeous from Ryan Sook. We've also got Detective Comics number 1093, insanely somewhat controversial storyline. It is a really fun take on what the hell's going on with Bruce Wayne sleeping with the daughter of the people that killed his parents. We will see how that works out. Did I say Wildcat? I meant to say Black Canary. Did I? I don't know. We also got Doctor Doom and Rocket Raccoon #1. What a delightfully fun book. Highly recommend the hijinks of those two different speech patterns and them both using their genius to solve interdimensional problems. A lot of fun. Fantastic Four 28, Fantastic Four run, still my favorite of all time. This run, 28 issues in from Ryan North, I think is the best FF ever. Hopefully get some love with all of the Fantastic Four trailer love. Green Arrow #20. You guys know I love me some Green Arrow. It's also how my facial hair just grows genetically. This is patchy. This doesn't grow in. So Green Arrow happened to me, and I happen to love the Green Arrow book right now. This issue is my favorite Green Arrow issue in probably 20 years. Green Arrow 20 is exactly how I see the character. Justice League Unlimited #3. Little Batman Year One. If you've got young comic fans in your house, if you want to get your kids into comics, this Little Batman book is delightful. It ties into the Little Batman Max movie that came out last year, the Christmas special. Superman #22. Really loving both Superman books over there. Ultimate Spider-Man #13. Absolutely crushing. This book is so good. It is as dialogue heavy as it is action heavy, and the dialogue punch has just as much of a punch as the violence. This is Spider-Man. It gets him to his core. It's such an incredible book every single month. Uncanny X-Men #9. I'm loving this post-Krakoa stuff. The From the Ashes stuff has been consistently dope. I really appreciate the fact that the artists and writers really understand these characters to the point that every issue feels like a goddamn classic. Wolverine Revenge #4. Greg Capullo art made for Wolverine. Beautiful book. And then Wonder Woman #17, another Tom King book, writing a badass woman. Big, big old fan. Green Arrow's rumored to be in Peacemaker Season 2. Are you kidding me? I haven't heard this. That's exciting. I didn't film it. That's strange. No, I hope that's... I mean, that sounds very dope. I had not heard that. Very intrigued. I'm so glad people are loving the Ryan North run as well. Uncanny is indeed incredible. And then from last week, the week of the 29th of January, and then we are all caught up at last. My favorite books were Deadpool #10. Look at this little nod to the Deadpool movies. I friggin' love that they're giving some Ryan Reynolds love here with the daughter of Deadpool now also being a merc for hire, another merc with the mouth. We've got Green Lanterns #19. I really, really enjoyed this specific Space Cop issue. It also happens to have your boy in the back of the cover. Didn't hurt it. But I really love when they can make the universe feel big and grand, but the character feel intimate and personal, and this issue does that very well. We've also got Nightclub #2. That is a vampire book that is young vampires navigating their powers being the coolest thing ever in their lives, and other people stealing those powers, and just a bunch of hijinks. Nightclub is fascinating by Mark Miller, who did Kick-Ass, and a lot of other crazy early 2000s stuff that is back in a big way with new... I love his whole universe he's built. Nightclub is dope. Mark Miller stuff is rad. Redcoat #9 from DC, I'm sorry, from Images imprint that is absolutely crushing it. Ghost in the Machine is amazing. I'm loving all of those books. This is my favorite Redcoat issue. It is Redcoat, a new original character, teaming up with Johnny Appleseed and going through all sorts of American myth and folklore, and it is absolutely delightful. Ryan Anderson, my favorite Green Lantern is Kyle Rayner. Big old fan of Kyle Rayner. Finally, Superman Lex Luthor special #1. I'm loving all the attention Lex Luthor's been getting. He is an absolute equal to Superman as far as interest of character. Like, he's a super interesting character when they let him be. Huge fan of what they're doing with Lex right now. And finally, X-Men #10. The end of this big Assault on Grey Malkin arc. Uncanny and X-Men merged into one storyline. This concludes it. Very intense, very beautiful stuff. A lot of big aha moments. Really great Scott Summers dialogue. He's an absolute badass. All of that jazz in the X-Men #10. And that concludes my favorite books for the last 2 weeks. If you lovelies want to hear what I'm going to be reading starting today for the books from this past Wednesday on February 5th, the books I'm going to be picking up when I go to the comic store today, in addition to looking at the, backs of comics to see which ones I'm on. I'll report back on that next week. I'm most excited for from this week, February 5th, starting with, I got to do a filter. Got to get rid of variant covers so I can actually see what is on here. Oh no, I already wrote this down, guys. I prepped way more than I realized. Frankly, I'm a fool. From the 5th, in alphabetical order, the books I am most looking forward to are Absolute Superman #4, back cover with your boy. Avengers #23, Batgirl #4, Batman #157. That is the final issue of the 2.5-year Chip Zdarsky run, a big oversized issue, Batman 157, before Jim Lee comes back in a big way next month, 158. We've got Blade, sorry, I jumped ahead, Birds of Prey #18, love that title. We got Blade Red Band #4, I just need to pick that up. I think it came out 2 months ago and I missed it. JSA #4, Justice Society of America #4. Justice League The Atom Project #2, Namor #7. 7, Phoenix number 8. Spidey says hi. We've got settle in, buddy. Poison Ivy number 30. That is a big anniversary issue from G. Willow Wilson. That book often makes my top of the month, so I'm really excited for that one. We've also got Power Man Timeless number 1. Great jumping on point if you're a Power Man fan. We have Sacrificers number 14. New book from Rick Remender that I'm really digging. Scarlet Witch number 9. Spectacular Spider-Men number 12. That is a Miles Morales Peter Parker team-up book. Spirits of Vengeance number 6 for you Ghost Rider fans. Two-Face number 3. That's that one right there. We've got Ultimates number 9. If you guys are reading Ultimates, you know how crazy and head trippy it is. That issue promises to be dope. Uncanny Valley number 7, I need to pick up from a couple months ago. And Wolverine number 6 are the books I will be checking out this week. That is going to do it for the comics from the last 2 weeks, as well as this week. What do I think about the Spider-Verse trilogy of comics? I like the Spider-Verse movies more than the comics, in a rare feat. I like the Spider-Verse comics, but I think they can get a little... Sometimes it feels like they're trying to sell toys in some of the characters they invent. And I feel like the movies have done a good job not filling that. Spidey Cat has boogied. Spidey definitely reflects his owner. That cat looks just like me. Batgirl's a really fun one. Love that Cassie is getting her time again. Two-Face has been such a pleasant surprise of the series. Absolutely, Ash. You and I have very similar tastes. Good, sir. A lot of love for Spidey Cat jumping in here makes me happy. Hey, your content, good. My brother also like it. His name is Hasbullah Chap. Much love to both of you. I appreciate that very, very much. Digging the portrait mode wasn't intentional, but I appreciate that. John Stewart love from Ryan Anderson. I'm a big John Stewart fan myself. I really especially love his introduction arc with the end of Hal Jordan going into the madness and then John Stewart taking the mantle. I think there's some really strong stuff there. Scott Summers really in his bags leading the X-Men right now. I agree. Jax Packet. I have not been reading Batman Off-World just because there's so many Batman books and there's a lot. But that, I believe, is going to do it this week, you lovelies. After seeing the trailer, thoughts on Monica Rameau's powers being exhibited in relation to Sue Storm's? That's interesting. I don't know. Maybe? I really don't know what they're going to be doing with that character in the universe, because we did see her in the post-credit scene of the tie-in to that universe's X-Men. I could also see her coming back in Secret Wars. I'm not sure how they're going to do that. Someone's unsubbing. I'm sorry. Goodbye. Ryan Anderson, my cat is called Loki, and he's mischievous as hell. Sometimes you got to name your cats just right. Sometimes they name you. Sometimes they knew what they had to be the whole time. All right, you lovelies. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for understanding the week gap with all of the other stuff I was pointing out. I hope you were entertained. I did The Game 20th anniversary for the documentary, which was one of my favorite albums of all time. Hit its 20th anniversary earlier in the month. So if you guys, a lot of you had asked me to do music content. It is started with that. I'm probably not doing music content for a little while because I didn't do as well as I had hoped. So I personally, just for me, going to be picking up GNX today on vinyl. I'm actually heading to the record store, the comic store, and the gym. 3 of my favorite places on the planet. That is how I am Fridaying. So I'm going to go do that right now. So GNX, shout out. I'm not going to be doing like content on it, but I want to give it some love. Douglas McKinney. Actually, you know what? I did listen, and I liked it so much better on vinyl that I no longer consider myself not a Beatles fan, but I wouldn't say, like, I'm not a Beatles hater. I never was. I'm still not a Beatles fan, but that gift and the experience on vinyl gave me a better appreciation of it. So mission accomplished. Very much appreciate the gift. It did actually give me a little sense of like immersion in a way I hadn't felt before. I understand their talent. Now I get a little bit more of it for a personal level. So I appreciate that very, very much. I saw a super chat come in. Teague, what is your strategy to stay positive without coming off artificial? What is your favorite fighting game? Is it King of Fighters? So many questions. I'm afraid I come off artificial because I get called a shill, so I don't think I'm effective at people not thinking I'm... I genuinely think the world is so shitty, there's no reason to be mad at art. So I think my positivity comes from a place of I could dwell in the shit that I can't change, or I could look up at the stuff that I can appreciate and celebrate. So I don't talk about the real world because I think the real world is a really scary place, and I think that what we're dealing with is so beyond our realm of understanding that I can't fathom diving into that as my content. So instead, I celebrate the stuff that is the morals and ethics and experience of the art that I enjoy and the emotion that it elicits from me. I can be positive about art anytime. So I think that's where it comes from, is I don't understand not being positive about art when it's such a gift from the universe that we got it. So I think that's an answer. And then favorite fighting game, Mortal Kombat. I'm a big Mortal Kombat guy, especially classic, like Sega Genesis era. I've never played King of Fighters. I don't game much anymore. I don't have a lot of time, unfortunately. I have a UFC game I've never opened. My parents got me that I'd love to. I think it'd be a good way for me to vent my aggression, and I will one day, but I have not had time yet. I have a cat named Erica Slaughter. I love that so much. Something is killing the children. Revenge of the Cat. I get a new kitten tomorrow. What's her name going to be? I'm between Alana and Hazel. Help me out, Koi. Oh my God. I'm a huge fan of Alana. Like, I think Hazel's great, but Alana is like a really cool kitten name. Hazel's great too, but it's a color, and like that makes a specificity of cat. So I would personally go Alana. Hopefully that helped without deciding it for you. Hopefully that could guide you in some way. Just Lobo, thank you for the love on the podcast episode. I really try to be more vulnerable online, so I appreciate that very, very much. Douglas, yes, I'm so glad you caught me so I could tell you about my experience with that album. I was actually going to talk about it this week with Jakey Jakes when we record next. So Alana it is, Ash's name in the cat, Alana, that makes me so happy. That is from Saga, to anyone that is watching this later or is in the chat wondering. Alana is one of my favorite characters in comic books. She is right there. That's Alana. Alana from Saga is one of my favorite characters. She is a beast. That's Mr. Miracle. Actually, there's Far Side, my little David Mack collection. That is cover up top. And then Mr. Miracle, and then Alana. And then we've got a Jim Lee Batman. We've got a Greta Garbo. We've got some more Saga. We've got The Will up there with Lion Cat. We have Prince Robot the Fourth. We've got the Grinch. We've got Alex Ross the Superman. And then, of course, we have Rita Hayworth. We have Spider-Man 2099, a life-size Deadpool bust with a cowboy hat from Twisters. Some Boss Logic art, a Mondo Joker, and then Black Panther. That is it! All right, you lovelies. That's your little room tour and the end of the show. I am going to boogie. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to go pick up GNX on vinyl. I'm going to enjoy the hell out of the Super Bowl this weekend. It is a great concert, flanked by some great football. I am really stoked for that on Sunday. I hope you have something fun to do Sunday, whether you like the Super Bowl or not. I hope you have a good old time. And today, I'm going to go to the gym and the comic store. Hopefully you have yourself a good Friday too. Those are some of my favorite things. I'm stoked as fuck. I will see y'all very soon. Thank you to each and every super chat. Thank you to each and every one of you in here for being an amazing community. Thank you to all of you for reminding me the internet is not all bad. There's amazing corners in it. We are cultivating one right here. If you're new to this page, hit that subscription bell. Join this incredible koi pond of like-minded, awesome people that I appreciate dearly. I will see you guys very soon. Have a great weekend. Much love. Bye. Next week, more your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And non-spoiler Captain America 4 and spoiler Captain America 4 and Paddington reviews. Next week's crazy. So subscribe, stick around. Appreciate y'all. Okay.